Hey, what's up there, guys? Corey here with GottaBeMobile and the brand new HTC 10. Now, not the M8, M9, the HTC 10. And this was announced earlier this week, and it'll be available in early May on just about all carriers except for AT&T, but there is an Unlock Global model that'll be for sale on HTC.com, which is what we have here, the Unlock Global Edition for $699. But here it is. The phone's in-house. It's got this beautiful brushed aluminum finish, and it looks and feels really nice. We're just going to quickly run down some hardware and software and some changes and stuff and kind of show you what makes the HTC 10 a pretty compelling phone for 2016 and a great alternative to the Galaxy S7 or certainly the LG G5. So as you can see here, we have this all aluminum design that's kind of HTC's signature, and it's very, very well made. This is a really, really nice feeling phone in the hand. Now it does have a really large chamfered edge here, kind of like a bezel on the back, bigger than most, and some might not like that at first, but it actually looks really good in person and it feels really good in the hand. Not to mention shows off kind of this kind of dual color design, or this kind of nice brush finish on the back. It actually looks really nice, and we really like it. So then overall here, it's definitely kind of HTC, but it feels really good in the hands. That big chamfered edge actually isn't sharp like you would think, and it's not uncomfortable to hold, which was actually a really big plus here with this new phone. So here's the HTC 10. Let's run down some of the hardware and go over the specs here for everyone. You probably know plenty about it already, but we have a brand new 12 Ultra Pixel 2 camera on the back. HTC's kind of struggled in past years with the camera, and so they've made a lot of major changes. It's the same camera as the Nexus 5X, Nexus 6P, but it's got a few additions. So it is a 12 Ultra Pixel camera, or 12 megapixel camera, with the laser autofocus, a dual stage two-tone LED flash. It's got an f1.8 aperture for quick photos, great low light, and optical image stabilization. That's something the Nexus 6P from Google was missing. So really good camera. So far, our first impressions have been really good, and we're going to have to use it a lot more in the future. It's got a lot to kind of live up to next to the Galaxy S7, but early kind of reviews seem to say that it can kind of hold its own. So that's really good. We also have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and that has optical image stabilization as well, which is kind of a first. So optical image stabilization on the front and back with both cameras. Great for selfies, great camera in general. So nice brush finish, pretty fancy cameras. And then under the hood here is a large 3000 milliamp hour battery. So really nice camera with a great sense of battery life as well. Then on the bottom here is a new USB Type-C port for charging, and it kind of can plug in either way. And it also supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0 technology, which means that massive 3000 milliamp hour battery can go from 0 to 80 in like 0 to 80% in like 35 minutes. So really quick charging when you do, or if you need to charge it, because it's got such a large battery. So it's on par with the Galaxy S7 and some other phones, so that's looking really good as well. And as you notice, there is some speakers down on the bottom, and that's because there is no front-facing boom sound speakers on HTC's new 10. Now, I know a lot of people aren't too happy about that, but there's a reason for it. There's actually a speaker up here in the earpiece, and that's it's actually a tweeter. So all those crisp highs and the high-end spectrum of any sound is going to be coming out of that. And then down on the bottom is the lows and a dedicated subwoofer. So there's still two speakers. They both have their own amp, and it's actually surprisingly good. They're calling it the Hi-Fi Edition boom sound, and so far we're pretty impressed. It actually does pretty well. So other than that, here we have a new 5.2-inch Quad HD display, a much bigger display from the past HTC phones, and a higher resolution coming in at a 2560 by 1440. So that's on par with a lot of other devices. It is an LCD display, so it's not quite as saturated and bright and kind of vivid as the Galaxy S7 or something like that with an AMOLED, but this is an LCD 5 panel, and it's got really nice balanced colors, and so far we've been pretty impressed. It looks really good. And then as you notice here, there's capacitive touch buttons, and that is because the on-screen keys have been scrapped to give you that full 5.2-inch screen. And then the back button over here where it should be a recent apps button, there's some of that software, and a fingerprint scanner. As you can see here, we now have a fingerprint scanner, kind of Samsung-like. It's actually not a physical button you can push like the Galaxy lineup, but it works kind of the same way for the home button. So you just quick tap. Wow, that's the first time it didn't work. Quick tap and it instantly unlocks your phone. Go into everything, and that kind of works for the home button as well. But what we want to do next here is show you the software, because this is kind of really important, maybe important to a lot of other people, is this runs Android 6.0 Marshmallow, Google's latest release, and it is covered in HTC Sense, but they're taking a much different approach to software this year, which is actually really good. This will help for performance, this will help with battery life, it'll make things kind of more simple and easy to understand, and it also will help a lot with updates, which is a big issue. So what we have here is HTC Sense 8 over Android 6.0, and as you can see, it looks like stock Android. Rather than taking the old HTC or maybe the Samsung approach to software, they're taking more of a Motorola approach where they've taken stock Android and kind of added to it rather than changing everything. So we have what looks kind of similar to a stock Android here, and a little toggle button, and then all kind of your usual settings like we're used to. And then if you even go back and go out into settings, it even looks like stock Android. So all in all, it looks like regular Android. One thing that's kind of odd here is it is HTC settings. It just looks like it's not. So it still kind of has a lot of their stuff and some fingerprint stuff and the personalized button and HTC's display and gestures and boom sound controls and a couple of things like that. So not everything's going to be in the exact right place if you're used to stock Android, but someone that's using an HTC phone will be right at home. Then another thing here is just everything else is very similar to stock Android. We have this nice application tray that's kind of something we've seen from HTC before. But if you notice, there's not a lot of apps. That's it. There's not tons of bloatware. We do have the Unlock Global Edition, and carriers might add a little to it. But HTC didn't want their own gallery and their own music app and all these other apps, and then HTC to also add Google's apps and music and all that. They're using Google Calendar instead of their own. They don't even have a gallery app. They're using Google Photos. They do have their own camera app though, which is so far we've been pretty impressed with. It's got a lot to offer. And overall, it's just kind of a good mix of stock Android and helpful additions like HTC Blink Feed. So rather than kind of changing everything, they've kind of kept a lot of it the same and just kind of added to it. So it's a nice touch so far. And we are kind of liking what we've seen, but there is still a little bit of Sense tied in there. And then, going to the recent apps tray, that's definitely stock Android and a clear all button. But that is the HTC 10 running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. And overall, we're pretty impressed here with what we're seeing. It's got a nice, powerful processor. It's got a bigger display. It's got an amazing, excellent design, really good build quality, longer battery life, super fast charging, a new and improved camera, and just kind of a simple toned down interface when it comes to software. So all good things from the HTC 10, and it's looking like a strong competitor to a lot of other phones. Again, it's going to be available in early May, and so far it's $699 on htc.com, but carriers will announce pricing and availability and monthly payment plans and all in the near future. But stay tuned for a lot more hands-on and videos and a full review at GottaBeMobile. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.